Hello, guys, and welcome to Wednesday, another short day. I love Wednesdays. Today, we're just going to, in our video here, do a little review of yesterday. We got a little review of why the universe is expanding. We did some cool things yesterday. We figured out some evidence to support the Big Bang Theory. We had our ball outside throwing around, broke for 5th hour and 7th hour, but we were able to fix it, and then we blew up our balloons in the classroom to see what happens to our universe. So right here, I'm just going to play a quick recap of why the universe is expanding to kind of reinforce what we did yesterday, and then tell you what's going on today. And hopefully I don't look too sleepy in this video. So let's get this started. Let's make it nice and big, and here we go.
If you've been hanging around here long enough, you've learned about plenty of astronomical discoveries that have completely changed the way we think about the universe and our place in it. Like for thousands of years, observers watched the sun and the stars move across the sky, so it was kind of natural for them to assume that the Earth was the center of the universe. And until about 25 years ago, we had no idea that other planets existed outside of our solar system. But 100 years ago, back in the 1910s, astronomers saw something that eventually led to one of the weirdest, mind-blowingest realizations ever made about the universe, and that is that the universe is expanding. In 1912, an astronomer named Vesto Slipher discovered that the light from certain groups of stars, which they'd later figure out were galaxies, was changing on its journey to their telescopes. It was being red-shifted, meaning that the light's wavelength was being shifted toward the part of the spectrum with longer wavelengths. They could tell because certain elements, like hydrogen, emit light in very specific parts of the spectrum, but they were all in the wrong places. For instance, light that left the nearby Andromeda galaxy in the orange part of the spectrum would look ever so slightly redder by the time it got to Earth. That had to mean that as other galaxies were emitting light, they were moving away from us, stretching out their wavelengths. But then, astronomers started measuring the redshifts and distances to lots of galaxies. That's when they discovered something weird. The farther away the galaxy was, the greater the redshift, so the faster it was moving away from us. In 1927, a Belgian astronomer named Georges Lemaitre realized that these changing redshifts could only mean one thing: the universe is expanding. Now, this is commonly misunderstood to mean that everything is flying away from us or from everything else, which is understandable, but wrong, because the reality is even more complicated and, if you ask me, cooler. Astronomers eventually realized that those red-shifting galaxies weren't speeding away from us through space. Instead, space itself is stretching out. Whoa, right? Astronomers often explain this phenomenon by describing the universe as a balloon covered in polka dots. As the balloon, or space, inflates,
We did that yesterday.
the dots, or galaxies, all move away from each other. But because in our example, all the parts of the balloon are getting bigger at the same rate, the farther two dots are from each other, the more the distance between them will increase. And the effect looks the same for all the dots, no matter where they are on the balloon. Lemaitre proposed that by measuring how much each galaxy was redshifting based on its distance, we could eventually figure out how quickly the universe was expanding. 2 years later, American astronomer Edwin Hubble, the guy the telescope is named after, studied this some more and put a more accurate, though still not exactly right, number on how fast the universe was expanding. This rate of expansion is called the Hubble constant. Since the day of Hubble and Lemaitre, researchers have discovered that not only is the universe expanding, but its expansion is actually getting faster. The universe is accelerating, thanks to a mysterious force known simply as dark energy. This knowledge has not only explained the weird observations that astronomers started making 100 years ago, it has also taught us a lot about the history of the universe. After all, as Lemaitre realized, once you figure out that the universe is expanding, you can work backward to where it started expanding, otherwise known as the Big Bang. So, thanks to the work done 100 years ago by astronomers who were willing to believe that things that didn't make sense must be true, we've discovered a lot about the universe and its history just by studying our little spot on that giant expanding balloon that is space. Thanks for watching this episode of SciShow Space, and thanks especially to our patrons on Patreon. If you want to help us keep making episodes...
So we did not even talk about that yesterday, and I didn't even get to that point. The universe is expanding, but it's getting faster. Ridiculous, huh? Something called dark energy. So if you want to research dark energy, go ahead. Once you find some research on it, you could post to at Jermozel on Twitter or post it underneath this video in the comment section, and that could be some more extra credit for you guys. So find out about dark energy and what it means, and we can report it back to the class and add to our discussion. So for today's class, let me get rid of this video. We are going to move into our third piece of evidence. Part of the class today has something to do with this. And hopefully it pops up. So right here, this actually has to do something with the Big Bang. So pretty cool. It's something we could see. And we'll talk a lot about it today. I'm also going to give you guys some of those videos from yesterday in class. I just have to add them into the video. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Hey, I'm at school now, and I have my green screen. So here's a video from yesterday. Let me restart it and put some sound to it that we took. Make it bigger. That was first hour throwing around the Doppler ball.
Oh, that's why we got the string.
You'll see right where it was broken at one point. Almost. And there it goes. Alright, so that was one of our videos we had from yesterday. Let's get rid of that one. Let's bring it out of there. We had another one of the class. Make that bigger.
Almost. Alright. Throw one more back, then we'll have you guys come back this way. We'll talk about it. Alright.
Alright, so those are some of the videos of our Doppler ball yesterday. Let's get rid of those. Bring those out of here. These were some pictures of our Hubble's Law from 7th hour. We got some pics in there. You guys blowing up those balloons and seeing what happens to your galaxies as the universe expands. That was one of the pictures, and here's another one. This one I posted up on Instagram of you guys working on that. And last but not least, this had nothing to do with class, but the shirt was awesome. It's a Fortnite shirt. Floss like a boss, play like a boss, sleep like a boss. So I'm not even going to say whose shirt that was, but a pretty cool shirt we saw yesterday. So have a great day, and later.